Hey guys, thanks for catching this episode of Fluid Fusion. I'm doing a fluid art seascape, and I'm doing it in a little bit of a different way. We're going to be using, of all things, personal lubricant. Who would have thought you could use it for more than just your personal pleasure? I'm doing this on a small 5 by 10 inch wooden cradle board type canvas. It's made of wood, and I'm sealing the top of it with a little bit of white paint. And then you'll see I'm going to tape off the edges after that dries, and I'm going to do the edges in black, like a flat black, so that it just sort of frames the image of the seascape and gives it a nice clean look, because this is going to be something you would put out on like a desktop or a side table or coffee table, you know, just as some kind of decoration. And here you can see I'm using Astroglide, and you're just going to put 2 drops, and all I had to do is put 2 drops in this paint color, and I think this might have been a phthalo blue, and that's really all you need. And you'll see I thought it was just going to add some interest to the water when I poured the flip cup and did like a flip and drag for the water, and that it would have just made it have a little bit more cell structure and interest. But you can see when we get to that part of the video, it does way more than that. So sometimes you just got to roll with things and make the most of them, and that's kind of what you'll learn from this video. And right now I'm just pouring flip cups for the sky, and so I'm using my different tones that I want to be in the sky, and I'm using my white and a little bit of silver in there, because silver does some really interesting things in these kind of seascapes or landscapes when you use it in the sky, in those blue colors and in the whites and stuff that you would put in the sky. Just adds a kind of another interesting, it adds some interesting more 3D effects, I think, and like shading for what will be like your clouds in the sky. Now, when I do these types of seascape pours, when you're doing the sky, you're going to tilt after you do the flip and drag, you're going to tilt the paints back and forth at these kind of severe angles, because you're trying to create the horizon line and kind of a levelness to your horizon and your sky. And you can see the clouds starting to form that it creates with the white, and how it's kind of selling up and making these kind of puffy cloud shapes. And there's a bit of the silver that I was talking about in there that also adds to some depth and some shading of the sky. And you just kind of have to play with it back and forth, and that's what I really like about doing these types of pours. Is it's a process, and to me it's kind of relaxing and just kind of fun to see what develops. So I start loading up another cup, and if you notice, these are with the little Dixie cups, the really small ones, because we have such a small surface that we're doing these flip and drags on, and so it's kind of fun to do. And this is going to be, of course, where I put that blue, the phthalo blue in there that has the 2 drops of the Astroglide, and you're going to see what this does. So when I flip and drag this, it looks really cool in the beginning when I first put it out there, and interesting. I kind of like the shapes that I get. And of course you wait, you want to let this wait. I think this was cut in, I let it wait a little longer than this even for the colors to kind of mix through each other. But then you just pull it up and drag, and you can see there all the shapes that are starting to form and those cell formations that are starting to happen. And it was really cool, and then it gets to be a little bit much. I probably didn't need to put 2 drops of it because we're working on such a small surface, but in the end you're gonna see I just decided to kind of roll with it, and that's what made this piece really special, I think, is it took it in a whole nother direction. I was just gonna make it a regular seascape where you had a horizon line that was you know, just flat across and level, but the astroglide just wasn't having it. You know, the astroglide was saying this is going to be a different painting, and so that's what it became. You might have noticed that I am doing live premieres on a different day, and I have switched my day. Now I'll be after my good friend Taslima Maya of Taslima Maya Art. On Sundays, it's just an easier day for me to get live premieres up, and I'm really looking forward to that. Please check out the ladies, though, back on Fridays with Friends. I really loved being on Fridays with Friends, and they do amazing work, and so please check their videos out. I'll leave something in my description box about that, and I will leave a link in the description box for Taslima's video that was before mine. And yeah, please just kind of tune in and check us out. My channel is Fluid Fusion. Taslima does a lot of different types of mixed media artwork herself, and so we're just looking forward to doing our live premieres on Sunday. Now, I wasn't thrilled with what that water was looking like, so I did another cup, and I did the flip and drag for that, and I really liked the cell structure on that, because at this point I was thinking, you know what, if those cells are going to be there, I'm just going to try to do something that maybe now looks like a stormy day at sea, where the waves are just kind of, you know, crashing, and, you know, maybe a little bit more strong, and you're going to see a lot of ocean spray and just maybe waves like they're crashing against rocks. And so that's kind of the idea that I decided, well, that would be interesting, because I haven't really done something like that. And I got my straw out and just put some of my white down along the tops of some of the shapes of the cells, and that's what I decided. It was just going to be a stormy day at sea. Now, if you're enjoying this, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, and when you do, ring the bell so you'll be alerted when I upload new content. I did a video last week with some large-scale swiping, and that was for Kayleen, aka Bubbles' 50th birthday bash with a lot of wonderful, talented artists, and I'll leave a link in this video and in my description box with the playlist for that, so you can catch all of those videos. And yeah, you just want to check that out. It was fun. It was with a masonry trowel, and it was something new for me, but it turned out really, really cool. And you can see here, I'm showing you the close-up with the bling and the shimmer of these metallic paints that were used, and how kind of blowing this out kind of made it look like the surf of the waves crashing. And then I thought, well, I will, and this is more of the fusion part, I will add some embellished seagulls on the top of that, because I thought that would be really neat to have a few seagulls flying around in the sky up there. And but it does really look kind of like turbulent water, how it turned out. So I was pleased with how that astroglide reacted, and the way it created those surf shapes where it looks like the waves and the crashing surf is just kind of, you know, exploding up out of the water. And this is obviously sped up, and I'm just painting my seagulls in, and I just thought that would be kind of a nice touch to this painting. And this is one of the things that is in my, well, in the beach rental that we have. And we put it on, you know, one of the side tables there as, you know, just something nice to have as far as knickknacks for, you know, the living room side tables. And I think it's kind of a good idea, you know, if you wanted to do something like that. It looks nice sitting there, and you can see just having it sitting there on a, you know, tabletop. But I'm pleased with how that turned out, and you might want to use some personal lubricant for your next painting. I want to thank you for being here, and I hope to see you again real soon.